Was watching another YouTuber who makes a lot of videos talking about San Francisco. Oh wow. Okay, he makes a lot of videos talking about San Francisco, and I noticed that his videos are very clipped. He'll walk through, pretty much walk through the city, and his videos are quite clipped. If you watch my videos, I don't clip these videos. This is just a straight video. I'm not trying to hide the places that are open, because there's some YouTubers that do that. They will go and film San Francisco and they will hide the places that are open and only show you the places that are closed. What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video, back with another in real life video. And today I'm gonna go explore Union Square in the city. And one thing I want to point out before we get this video started, this is the Union Square garage right here, and this garage is not cheap. It's like $4 an hour, $5 an hour on the weekends. Sometimes it's open from here, looks like it's closed, but there are people driving in from down from there. That's one of the exits up here. So yeah, there is a place to park. However, if you're coming from outside the city, it might be, you might think about a couple things before you come to the city. You might think about, hey, I have to pay the toll. Like if you live in the East Bay, you have to pay the toll. But then you also have to think about, after you pay the toll, you might get a ticket. But then if you go park in the garage, if you're gonna stay for 4 or 5 hours at $4, $5 an hour, you think about that cost. But then you also think about all the shops that are closed too. And then you think about the street conditions. These things may make a person not want to even come to Union Square. So if you had less of these things to deal with, maybe people would come to Union Square more. One thing I would say is, why won't they make parking cheaper? You know, a lot of people disagree with this one, but trust me, a lot of folks would agree with this. Just make parking cheaper, you could fill up Union Square, especially on certain days of the week, right? Just make parking cheaper on Monday through Thursday if there's no events going on. I get making parking more expensive if there's basketball games going on, if there's a baseball game going on, make it cheaper. But on the flip side, some days it's completely dead, there's nothing going on, and if parking was a little bit cheaper, maybe more people would come check it out, come to the city. Maybe it would be a little bit more foot traffic. Maybe it would help some of the businesses. But for now, we will go and kind of walk around Union Square. This is a Saturday morning at around 10 a.m. We can go down this way, but let's go walk up this way, and then we'll go stroll down. This here on the right, this used to be a CVS. It closed before the pandemic, I believe. I don't know what this, so this place is still open. It's just not open now. The shop's closed. This is a suit store. Places like this can definitely survive a little bit longer, because, you know, you have to try stuff like that on. You can't order everything offline. Here's Mr. Charlie's. It's one of my favorite restaurants. There's one place I still go to in the city. I kind of stopped spending as much. Mr. Charlie's is the vegan version of McDonald's. McDonald's is across the street here. This place here used to be the UGG store back in the day, which it closed before the pandemic, and now it's pretty dirty all the time. We can just continue walking around. I haven't made a video in Union Square in some time. I'm pretty known around here, so that's kind of why I don't make videos in Union Square like I used to. I walk down the street and, like, you know, some people like me, some people don't like me. So I kind of avoid Union Square. I mean, I don't avoid Union Square, I just avoid it with a camera. We have Marriott, which is a popular tourist hotel. It's still open, for sure. We got Lori's Diner here. I don't know how this place is still open, but they're still pumping. They're still cooking food up in there, making them eggs and grits. And the world famous trolley coming down here. I would love for this light to change. There we go. There is the number one. I don't know if that's trolley number one. I don't know what this light's doing. It's like one of the longest lights right now. Question, if you guys know the longest light in the city, put it in the comments below. So this hotel here used to be St. Francis Drake, but after the pandemic, the name changed. If you want to have if you want a drink with a really nice view, this hotel has a restaurant with a bar on the top floor. I would say go and check it out. It's a nice view of downtown, for sure. It is a nice view of downtown. Saks is still open. One thing I will say about some shops that are open, I don't really see a lot of people walking around with shopping bags like I used to back in the day. Back in the day, you would just see people with shopping bags. I don't really see that too much anymore. What's going on here? Looks like something's going on down here. Everything's closed. Maybe there's a parade or something going on. It could be a marathon or something. All of Union Square is closed down too. Oh, it's Tulip Day. I have no idea what Tulip Day is. Yeah, it looks like everything's blocked off. Maybe there's a run or a race or something like that. My guess. Tulip Day. I don't really know. I didn't look up before. I just showed up and said, let's make a video. Yeah. All right, so let's figure out which way to go since everything's all closed down. 7x7. This looks like a tour is gonna start here. Wow, this is really weird how they got it all closed off. Dang, can you even get around? I kind of want to go that way. Is there any way to get around? Okay, let's keep going.
That's the one. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you just passing through. That's what I said. You're passing through, or the light's over here? Oh, no, I was waiting in line. Thank you.
All right. Oh, so this here is, looks like the line for the Tulip Day. I have no idea what the Tulip Day thing is. So if y'all can tell me, put it down in the comments below. There's the Apple Store. Anybody out there got the Vision Pro? Like, I went and tried it on, tested it out. You know, you can do a 30-minute trial. The problem I ran into is the same problem with the Oculus. The eye thing. Oh, it's that way? Oh, okay. You not this way? It's back that way? Oh, okay. Let's go this way. Like, I don't want to go all the way back there. Sometimes you have to use common sense. Yeah, it's pretty popping down here today. It was so easy to exit going that way. Look at that, I got the tulips on the box. I've noticed in a lot of neighborhoods they have put artwork on the boxes. It's better than having them just, you know, the green or the gray color. It looks pretty cool. What does this side look like? Oh, someone tagged it. Well, once again, it looks better than just having just the green or the... I think they're green or gray or something. It looks pretty busy today. It looks pretty busy down here. I mean, usually there's traffic, you know. It's daylight savings time starts tomorrow. Let's kind of go this way. Daylight savings time starts tomorrow, so that means the days will be longer. And also what that means is there's gonna be a lot more traffic. Whenever daylight savings time starts, that's usually the time where the basketball games start up. When the basketball games start up, the city's definitely busy, especially if it's a game day. Usually you can always tell because there's a lot more traffic. There's a lot more foot traffic on game day because of, if the game is at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock, folks usually show up a little bit earlier to do stuff. Maybe go to a restaurant or maybe go around the city and see sights and stuff like that. So it's usually a lot busier. I would say shopping, but people definitely don't shop in person like they used to. But it's kind of weird because if you go to other parts of the world, like London, they haven't had as many like store closures. I don't think no place has had as many store closures as like SF. You know, who knows why that is? It could be a number of reasons. You know, like in the comments on some of my reels, people say so many things. It's like, oh, it's online shopping, it's high rents, it's street conditions. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It could be a lot of those things combined, actually. But it's definitely busy over there today. It's pretty quiet on this alley. This alley is weird because sometimes they have a lot of tables and chairs out. But like I said, I'm kind of filming this at 10 a.m. So it's not as busy right now. Union Square, Union Square. No, there's a lot of like store closures that's happening, right? Just recently, they just announced like the North Face store and the Zara store is closing. But one thing I haven't heard that is closing, oh, look at that purple Lamborghini. That's something you don't ever see in the city. One thing I don't hear stores closing, I don't hear about any like expensive stores closing. I think that's something that rings a bell. Like some things that are more expensive, you have to go in and try it on, right? Versus like cheap stuff. It's mainly like cheap stores that I hear about closing. So the North Face store there is closing too. They just announced a couple days ago. And then on this block, mainly the cheap stores are closing. I haven't heard about anything really expensive. Zara, they just announced it's closing. Burberry, it's still here, it's still open. It is super quiet on this block. I think because they got the street closed off there. Yeah, and also another thing that's really annoying that I hear people say a lot is the parking. So I'll tell you one thing that's kind of weird about downtown. After the pandemic, they took away a lot of parking spots, right? And the problem with taking away parking spots, it makes it harder to park, okay? But if you look down here, if you look on this side of the street, you can park. It says no parking from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Tuesday through Thursday. AKA, that means you can't park here overnight. But if you look at this sign, people get these mixed up all the time because this says 7 a.m. You can't park through 1 p.m. So after 1 p.m. you can park here, but you have to pay close attention, and people get this wrong all the time. So you can park here after 1 with a normal car, but when people see yellow zones, they usually don't even read the sign. They usually just say, oh no, I can't park there, right? But then across the street, someone may see this yellow sign and may actually read it and think, okay, I'm good, I can park here. But they may assume it's the same thing for across the street, which it's not the same thing for across the street. Across the street, if we go over here and look, it's actually tow away from 4 to 6. So I'll show you on this sign here. So if you look at this one, it's tow away from 7 a.m. through 9 a.m. And then it's also tow away again from 4 p.m. to 6. So this is really confusing. So like, you got a white zone here. So technically you're not supposed to park in white zones, right? But then here you have this yellow zone here. But then let's look at this sign. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. it's no stopping, right? So you can't park here. So I know so many people, they've parked here and they got their car towed, and they only went to spend like, you know, $200-300 in like one of these shops. And then they get their car towed and they have to spend hundreds to get their car back. It's really confusing. After the pandemic, like, it's really not busy around here. It's really not as busy like it used to be. So I think that they should like change the parking restrictions. You know, they should make it where like it's a little bit easier to park here. Because before it was a lot of traffic. Now it's only traffic on certain days out of the week. So it's really weird that they still have the same really strict parking requirements. They should just like loosen them up a little bit. But it doesn't matter if they loosen it up. Like, majority of the stores are already closed anyway. And yeah, online shopping is a big thing. Like, I hardly ever order things. I order almost everything offline. Like, I don't really go to the store that much. So I totally get it, but that's not everyone, and that's not everybody. There's a lot of people that don't order stuff offline. And then the whole online shopping, what about other cities? What about Boston? Like, I had a homie that just moved to Boston, and he says, well, not everything is closed down. Some stuff is closed down, not everything. So it's kind of weird that they say it's online shopping. But then the high rents, that's not a good one either, because you got to think the rents have been high the rents have been high forever, you know, especially for a flagship location. So this here is the North Face store. It's closing down. I wonder probably the Apple store won't, because you need an Apple store to try on the Vision Pro and all that. So that probably won't close, but I wonder will the Nike store close? Because once again, I like never see anyone come out with bags anymore. Like Christmas time, I noticed that I didn't really see that many people walking around with shopping bags. And like now, I hardly ever see anyone walking around with shopping bags. I mean, it brings up another question. So if they're closing down the flagship stores, they must know something that we don't. You know, because Union Square was just, for the most part, full of flagship stores. So it just makes me wonder, like, what is really going on, man? So all these places are closed around here. There's this cafe that's in there, Capital One Cafe. I've never went to it. It's still open. I don't know if it's open today because I'm filming this on a Saturday. Across the street used to be the Amazon Go store. They had to close down because the Amazon Go store didn't accept cash. And there is a law in San Francisco where like you have to accept cash because it's discriminatory if you don't accept cash. Boy, I can tell you a lot of places. I can name off a lot of places in the city that don't accept cash. If you ever use the app ClassPass, majority of the fitness centers, majority of them do not accept cash. They are all cashless. So I went to this, I don't want to say, but I went to a bunch of places, and you know, you'll use the ClassPass app to buy something, like to buy the class, but then when you go to the class, maybe you need something for the class, and then if you try to pay in cash, they'll say, oh yeah, we're cashless. So I don't know, I don't get it. There's a bunch of restaurants that are cashless. I'm not gonna name any, but I definitely know of restaurants that are cashless. But I can also tell you some restaurants that are not cashless, you know? They're like, oh, we're cash only. You know, like I said, I'm filming this on a Saturday morning. So it doesn't really matter what time I'm filming this on. You know, sometimes it is busy, but usually it's not. And if I do film this on a busy day or a closed day, it's not gonna change the fact that majority of the shops are closed. I like how some people say that in the comments, like, oh, you filmed this early in the morning, but that still doesn't change the fact that everything's closed. You know, this place, Flying Falafel, I used to go here all the time. Not this location, but I used to go to, I had another location on Market Street right before the pandemic started. They had just opened this location. It was just getting started, and after the pandemic, it closed. And then also their other location, it closed too. They tried to hang on, but it didn't work. It was just not enough foot traffic, so they closed. All of these places are closed. Wow, this place closed. It was a spot we used to pick up from deliveries all the time. You know something else I see in this city often? I didn't see this before, but I'm starting to notice it for the past year. A lot of people are coming and they're filming. I see so many, like every day I see at least 5 people walking around with cameras making videos in Union Square. Like a lot. And I see it more and more. There's some Posh Bagels still open. This place is pretty good actually. They got some good bagels. Bagels aren't very popular in San Francisco like they're popular in New York. But that's pretty much, that place is open, and the hot yoga is open, and then that couple shops on the corner is open. But pretty much everything on this block is closed. This is a brand new, this building is not brand new, because I guess brand new would mean it opened a year ago, but it's pretty new and modern, but nothing's there. We've talked about this intersection before, and just talking about this intersection makes people so upset. I did a reel like a couple months ago talking about how everything was closed on this intersection, and people were literally saying in the comments that that's not true, everything's not closed. But if you come here and see for yourself, everything on this block is closed on just the corner. Now there are some stores that are actually open. If you go down the street, there's definitely some stores open, but I'm talking about on the corner. Like corner lots are very popular because you're on an intersection, right? But a corner lot on this intersection is not popular because they're all still closed, and they'll probably be closed for some time. This place up here used to be Arc'teryx. Not on the corner, but over here. It's closed down. It's funny, I was reading one of the comments and they said about the North Face store, they said that the North Face store is closed. So now the tech bros can't get their North Face jackets. And obviously someone wrote that and they're not from the city, because tech bros don't even really wear North Face. North Face is like, everybody wears North Face. I mean, I was watching some car break-in videos and 2 of the guys had North Face jackets on, you know? So North Face is for everything. The yuppies and the preppies wear Arc'teryx, or they wear Patagonia. North Face is like, I know whenever I go back to Tennessee, I notice if I ever wear a North Face jacket, I get a lot of crap, because people in Tennessee, you know, black people in Tennessee definitely don't wear North Face. But in the Bay, everybody wears North Face. You know, everybody. It's not just a It's not a yuppie thing. It's like everybody rocks it because it's usually cold all the time in the Bay. And North Face are great jackets. And also North Face, if I'm not mistaken, I believe North Face was founded in San Francisco. I don't know. I know it's definitely from the Bay. I don't know if it's necessarily from the city. I really like this little alley. Now let's talk about ways to bring Union Square back. So one thing that probably won't bring Union Square back is shopping. Or at least like commercial shopping. I could see things happening in Union Square along the lines of smaller shops, right? Art stores. I can also see music bringing Union Square back. If they allowed bands to play on the street, I could see that bringing it back. Night markets could be a thing. But the thing about it, how many night markets can you have? How many art stores can you have, right? I think you can have a bunch of art stores, but how many can you really have? This is the Leica store. It's a camera store. It's still here. They had a pretty crazy robbery when they first opened. But they're still around. Leica. I wonder how many people really buy Leica cameras. I'm not saying that they're bad cameras. They're actually great cameras. But nowadays, so many people film on a cell phone. You know, they say the best camera to have is the camera that you can grab. And most people are they always have their cell phone with them. So iPhones are just getting better and better by the year. So I don't know. So I think I'm gonna wrap this video up. Just did a little quick walk through Union Square while this subway is still open. They're putting up a lot of cameras around too, a bunch of cameras. They're gonna start using facial recognition. Oh, that sounds pretty bizarre, to catch criminals. And they also, this law just passed recently, voters voted on it, that they are going to start using drones in the city to combat crime. And the crazy thing about using drones to combat crime, well, the military has been using drones for years in warfare. And usually what happens, the military uses things and then they let it trickle down to the rest of the citizens. Or not the rest of the citizens, but they let it trickle down, right? If you look at GPS, the military made the GPS. And now today, everyone uses GPS. So also the military, you know, drones got really popular in the military. Now today, you can go buy a DJI drone. Not all of these places are closed. Definitely this L&L barbecue is still open. It's just not open now. And I believe this little shop here with the orange vest, I think it's still open. It's just not open today because it's Saturday. So not everything is closed. You know, I was watching some videos and they say, oh, everything in Union Square is closed. That's definitely not true. I also was watching another YouTuber who makes a lot of videos talking about San Francisco. Oh, wow. Okay, he makes a lot of videos talking about San Francisco. And I noticed that his videos are very clipped. He'll walk through, pretty much walk through the city, and his videos are quite clipped. If you watch my videos, I don't clip these videos. This is just a straight video. I'm not trying to hide the places that are open, because there's some YouTubers that do that. They will go and film San Francisco and they will hide the places that are open and only show you the places that are closed. I'm actually pointing out places that are actually open. Like this Vietnamese place is open, but it's not open right now. And also this cookie shop, Insomnia Cookies, it's open too. It's just not open right now. So the city it's coming back to life. One thing that happens a lot in the city is there's a lot of events going on, and those events don't usually take place in Union Square. The Chase Center has a lot of events going on. And the Chase Center is not in Union Square. The Chase Center is in Mission Bay. And let me tell you, whenever there's events going on in Union Square, at the Chase Center, the traffic to get to the Chase Center is next level. Now, one reason why the traffic's so bad is because there's less places, I mean, there's less lanes to get there, right? It used to be easier to drive to Mission Bay, but now, like on 4th Street, it's only one lane to get to Mission Bay on 4th Street because they added a new Muni line. And I think there's events going on in Mission Bay, at the Chase Center today. Maybe we should wait. Yeah, so there is a lot of misinformation about the city. There's a lot of folks that say, oh yeah, the city's dead. Some parts in Union Square can feel dead, but other parts of the city is not dead by a mile, yo. And what I mean by that is you go to Polk Street at night, Polk Street is popping, yo. And also you go walk around Polk Street, you definitely see closed shops, but you don't see closed shops like you see in Union Square. You don't see closed shops like you see in Union Square, I don't think anywhere. So there we have it. And over here, this is one of my favorite parks in the city. Looks like there's a tour group over there in the corner. But for now, I guess we'll wrap this video up. Yeah, I guess we'll wrap this one off. See y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. And peace out, yo.